guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the symptoms that I was having before I took a positive pregnancy test and what kind of led me to thinking that I was pregnant before I took a positive test. And also I'm going to be talking about how my first trimester went, and then I'll make a separate video on my second trimester when I am finished with my second trimester because I am already in it. And I am going to wait until I'm starting my third to do my whole second trimester video. So I hope you enjoy and stay tuned and keep on watching if you want to hear all about my symptoms and everything else. So I'm going to dive right into all of the symptoms that I was getting before I took a positive pregnancy test. And some of these are going to be TMI. Well, the first one that I'm going to talk about is going to be TMI, so if you're not interested, just skip a little bit of ways and I will be done with it. And this is really embarrassing for me to actually talk about. I don't like to talk about personal issues or things that embarrass me. That's just how I am. I'm not very comfortable about talking about things, but I think it could really help somebody else that is wondering if it's a normal thing to have. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the very first symptom that I started having. Let me just backtrack. I was having dinner with my family, so my husband made hamburgers because I was really wanting a hamburger for some reason, and then he made the hamburger, I ate dinner, and then right away, like right after I took the last bite, I had to run to the bathroom and I actually threw up, which I hadn't been feeling sick at all before, so I was like, that's a little weird. And then starting the very next day, let me just say this, usually pregnant women have constipation. For me, it was the complete opposite, if you know what I'm saying. I was having loose stools, I guess you could say. I don't want to really say it because it's just embarrassing for me to admit, but some women get it, I guess, and I'm one of them, and it's just not as common, but it's my doctor told me it was okay. But anyways, this is before I even saw a doctor, so I started having these spells, I guess you could say, every single morning. For, I want to say like 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, non-stop, every single morning, like almost the same time, just once a day, every single morning after I woke up. And I thought that was really strange because that doesn't just happen to me. It's not a normal thing for me to have that. And so that was my first clue, like I probably am pregnant. And we were trying, so it was really exciting, but at the same time I really didn't want to get my hopes up. And so my husband just kept saying, like, you know, maybe you have a sensitive stomach, so maybe it's not that at all. And I do have a really sensitive stomach, and I have stomach problems, and so for me, I didn't want to completely let myself think that I was pregnant because I do have stomach issues. But it was just strange, the timing of it, and then how frequent it was happening every day, like at the same time. And so that was the first thing that I noticed, and that went on for like 2 weeks, and it was just weird. And then I have a paper that I'm looking at, so excuse if I am not looking right at the camera sometimes. The next thing that was happening is I was getting restless leg syndrome, and I got that with my first pregnancy with my daughter, so that was also another clue. I was like, this doesn't happen to me on a regular basis either. And I was just having a hard time getting comfortable, and restless leg syndrome is awful. And so that was the next thing. Something else that I was going on with me was I was getting very, very, very irritable. I was getting annoyed with everything. My husband was making me so mad about the littlest things, and I was just very, very irritable, like with everything. Everything was making me mad. I was getting upset over things that shouldn't have even mattered. I was just very irritable, and then I was also emotional, so my daughter would start crying, and then I would start crying because I felt bad for her, something happened, and blah 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 blah. I was just being very emotional about little tiny things, and so anyways, that was another thing. And then the throwing up thing only happened once, which was really strange, but that only happened once. And then I was getting acid reflux. So I don't have acid reflux, and I don't normally get that, so that was another thing that was weird for me, I guess. I was like burping and stuff, and it smelled like, this is so gross in TMI, but it was smelling like throw up, and it was just gross. And it didn't matter what I ate. It didn't matter what I ate. I could eat a hamburger, I could be eating a salad, I could be eating anything, and I would get the acid reflux. It would just feel like it was just coming up in just burping. Like I wasn't throwing up, but it was just coming up and bad smells and stuff. And so that was another thing. My stomach started gurgling like randomly, like not like when I was hungry, just random, like after I ate, or even not before, because that would mean I was hungry normally, but at night, in the middle of the night, it would just start gurgling. It was so weird. It's one of the weirdest symptoms that I did have that I really haven't experienced before. And then the following day, that following night after I did throw up, that whole entire day I was getting a really bad backache, and it was all day long. And since then I have had backaches here and there, which is normal for pregnancy, but I had a backache for a whole entire day straight. And so then I was just like, yeah, maybe I am pregnant. But you know what's funny is this pregnancy has been the complete opposite of my first. So with Gracie, I had a very, 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 very bad, what am I trying to say? See, pregnancy brain. What am I trying to say? Morning sickness. I had horrible mornings, like bad. Like I was on my deathbed sick with her the whole entire first trimester. I was throwing up all day, every day. I couldn't hardly drink water. I was just very sick with her. I lost a ton of weight, and then I had to slowly, during the second trimester, it actually got better, thank goodness. But at the time with her, I never knew about these pills that you could take that would help alleviate your morning sickness. It's called Diclegus, and I never knew about that with my first, with my daughter. So had I known about that, I would have taken that the first time. But I was feeling a little nauseous here and there in the first trimester with this one, but not enough to have to take those pills. My doctor did prescribe them to me, and I took one of them, and it knocked me on my butt all day. The one time I hated the way I felt. It didn't make me feel good, and so I stopped taking them, and I was just fine. So anyways, this pregnancy has been completely opposite of hers, and I'm actually thankful for that, because if I was on my deathbed the whole first trimester like I was with her, I wouldn't easily be able to take care of my daughter like I can now. I'm very, very tired all the time, but I'm not throwing up. I don't feel sick. I actually have quite a bit of an appetite, and so I'm very happy and thankful that this pregnancy is actually different, and I think it was meant to happen that way, so I can take care of my daughter and still be functional enough to get done what I need to get done. Let's see, what else? I was also having shortness of breath before I took a test, and I have asthma, so that's not something that's not normal for me. I get out of breath. I get out of breath very easily normally because I have asthma, and I really need to exercise more, but besides that, I just have a hard time breathing in general. But this being out of breath is not something that happens to me all day long, and it was happening to me all day long. Like I would just have a really hard time breathing, and I said to my husband, this isn't typical of what my asthma usually feels like, and I know my body and I know my asthma, and this isn't quite normal. And so with all of those things put together, I was like, I told my husband, I was like, I do think I'm pregnant, but I don't want to jinx anything. And so it was maybe 2 days or 3 days before my missed period, or my period was due, and it was, time for me to miss my period or have my period. I took a test and it was positive. It was actually the dollar store tests, and I was like, I don't know if I trust these dollar store tests or not though. So my husband went and got a first response test, and I actually have it right here somewhere. I kept it because I'm a weirdo like that, and it still says it right now, but I don't know if you can see that, but this is a test that he got for me, and it said pregnant, and we were overjoyed. We were so excited, and I was like, I knew I was, but I didn't want to jinx it and then have my hopes be like, you know, give my hopes up and everything. But we were so excited. We didn't know that we could be this successful this fast. We had tried a lot longer with our first daughter, not as long as some people try for, and anyways, I can't even talk. Pregnancy problems. But anyways, so that is all of the symptoms that I was having before we took a test, and then after I took the test, everything kind of made sense. It just all clicked. And then, so yeah, and then now I'm going to talk about how my first trimester went, and then I will do the second trimester one in a little bit. So I kind of talked about my first trimester a little bit in the previous clip, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about it, and really there's not too much to say about my first trimester. I was tired a whole bunch. I'm still tired. I'm still always tired. And with my daughter, once my first pregnancy, once my second trimester hit, it was like a light bulb, like a switch. Like, I was sick and I was throwing up, and like I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't sleep. It was miserable. I was miserable. But then once the second trimester hit, it was like, boom, I'm all better, and boom, I have all of this energy, and I feel amazing and great, and it was awesome. And then with this one, what's different is I have felt fine. I was a little nauseous in the beginning, but now I'm fine. Like, I can eat and drink and everything, and I feel pretty great. I felt pretty great, and I still feel pretty great, but the one thing that was harder with this one, I guess, is that I'm just tired. Like, I get tired faster and easier, and I'm a lot more out of breath, and I think that has a lot to do with just chasing around a 2-year-old all day too. But the first trimester was just pretty good, a lot better than my first pregnancy was with the first trimester. Regardless, I was so happy to just be pregnant, and I am still happy to be pregnant and blessed and thankful. So please don't take anything I say in offense. I hope you don't. But yeah, my first trimester was fine. My appetite was like up and down. I didn't lose any weight, but I also didn't gain much weight, which is fine. My doctor said everything looks normal with me, and then I'm healthy, and then I'm fine. And yeah, there's not really much there's really not much to say about it, except for after we found out we were in fact pregnant, I had my first appointment, and they've just been pretty good since then. They're only in 4-week increments for now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was more for the telling you about my symptoms before I took a test, because a lot of people wonder how other people's symptoms are and if they have the same or similar symptoms. And the main thing that I want to talk about was that embarrassing part, because a lot of women have the constipation, but I was having the complete opposite, and my doctor told me that that was normal, just to keep an eye on it and everything, and things have settled down now. But yeah, I just wanted to put my own personal touch on these kinds of videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.